176.8.
Wow.
So how much?
13 pounds.
13 pounds?
Yeah, it was 189.
Oh shit, no wonder you were cramping.
Hold on. Did he just say he lost 13 pounds in 4 hours?
176.
Lest you think we've stumbled onto one of the greatest weight loss discoveries in human history, that was not how we wanted today to go. Norm lost 8% of his body weight in 4 hours, causing serious dehydration that led to a massive loss of performance and leg cramps. So how can we prevent this?
That's gross. That's a lot of sweat. The 3 pieces of advice for heat training are this. Number 1, keep your body cool. We both have our DeSoto Skin Cooler arm sleeves on, so that helps keep us cool.
The Skin Cooler fabric by DeSoto Sport gets wet and swells as it absorbs the moisture, which dissipates the heat, making the fabric against your skin cooler.
Part of keeping your body cool is to stay in the shade as much as possible. Unfortunately, out here, there isn't much shade. So number 2, you want to hydrate. So we both have Osmo electrolyte drink, as well as some Cis electrolytes. What I'm doing is I take a sip every 3 minutes when it's hot out. It's more like every 5 minutes when it's not that hot, but for now, about every 3 minutes, I take a sip. Also kind of keeps your mind activated, but hydration is really more important when your activity is more than 90 minutes. If you're under 90 minutes, you don't need to worry too much about electrolytes.
Fluid and electrolyte loss is tricky to manage because it varies from person to person. To determine your sweat loss, you can weigh yourself before and after exercise to calculate the loss and add that loss to the amount of fluid you consumed. On average, people sweat around 1 liter or 2.2 pounds per hour, but some people lose as much as 2.5 liters per hour. And within that liter of sweat, you have about 1 gram or more of sodium and chloride, 200 milligrams of potassium, and small amounts of magnesium and calcium. If you're a salty sweater, you probably will see salt build up on your skin and clothes, and you might be losing more than 2 grams of salt per hour.
So this white stuff is salt. So if you're losing 1 gram an hour of sodium on a 4-hour ride, you're losing 4 grams. Sodium, almost a full gram of potassium. I said magnesium, calcium. You lose those in just a little bit. Most drinks either don't have magnesium and calcium at all, or they have just a little bit. But for example, the drink I have right now, Osmo, per 16 ounces, it only has around 300 milligrams of sodium. So if I'm drinking, let's say, normally on a hot day I drink around 20 to 24 ounces in an hour. So that's going to give me probably a little under 500 milligrams of sodium per hour. So you can't really replenish all of that sodium with your electrolyte drinks. Now on races where it's really hot, XTERRA Maui in 2018, the World Championships, I had my Osmo, but I also added a couple of Noon tablets, which basically doubles the amount of electrolytes in your drink mix. So I was trying to take in more like 600 to 800 milligrams of sodium per hour. And I think that really helped. It didn't cramp at all and had a pretty good race.
You also want to keep your fluids cold, as this helps your intestines absorb them better and keeps your core temperature down. One tip to do this on a bike ride is to put 500 milliliters of your electrolyte drink into your Camelback the night before your ride and freeze it. Be sure to inflate your Camelback and lay it flat in the freezer to get a good layer of ice on the backside. This trick will keep your fluids and your body cool.
Science and Sport Go Energy plus Electrolytes Sports Energy Supplement. They're a little pricey, but worth every penny. So far, I think, like we take other things. I take Cliff Blocks for the caffeine, but this almost replaces some of the hydration a little bit because it's so high in electrolytes.
So the other thing with the electrolyte drinks and hydration is you need to keep the sugars down. So you want less than 8 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. So basically for like a 16 ounce, you want less than 32 grams, kind of in between 20 and 32 grams. 32 grams for us is a little on the high side. Most of the stuff that sits well with us is closer to 20-21 grams per 16 ounces. That's because the sugars actually do help the electrolytes absorb, so you do want a little bit of calories to help those absorb.
But you have to be careful. There's drinks out there that have a lot of sugar.
It sits in your stomach, it doesn't digest as well, especially when you're hot and dehydrated. Those calories aren't going to digest, so you want to keep on the low side of sugar. That's why, like Gatorade, for example, has a lot of sugar. It has 48 grams of sugar in 28 ounces, so it's kind of on that high side of that ratio.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people get stomach cramps when they drink Gatorade during exercise.
So make sure your electrolyte drink has enough electrolytes for hot rides and you consume enough carbohydrates for you to absorb them. Our favorite hydration brands are Infinite Nutrition, Osmo, and Sis.
So the third key element of training and racing in the heat is acclimatization. Probably the 2 hottest races I've done were the XTERRA in Maui and the USAT Off-Road Championships in Waco, Texas last year, where it was 100 degrees on race day. We did as much training as we could in the heat in the middle of the day. We'd start out doing easier sessions during the middle of the day to kind of get used to it. And then after a couple of weeks, we started doing harder sessions in the middle of the day, interval training and such. But we also did a sauna protocol. So what that was is pretty much almost every day for about a month before the races, we would get in the sauna. Usually we did that in the evening because of our work schedules, so we'd go in after work. We ended up building up, I think at first, we would only last like 10 minutes or so. We built up to 30 minutes. That really helped.
So with all my successes in hot races, what happened to Norm today?
3 hours in, my legs are cramping. I can't make it up climbs that I have no problem with when it's not this hot.
Norm consumed around 24 ounces per hour and ended up losing 8% of his body weight. Research shows that losing more than 4% of your body weight can severely impact your performance. If he consumed 6 pounds of fluid and still lost 13 pounds in 4 hours, that means his sweat loss today was a little over 2 liters per hour. So he needs to probably drink around 40 ounces per hour of fluids to keep ahead of the 4% body weight loss. It's also important after your workout to continue to replenish your fluids and electrolytes. And cool your body down to help you recover.
Icing our legs and compressing them. These little ice packs in the pockets here. So what did you learn from your experience yesterday?
That I need to hydrate better. I need to take either more fluids with me or plan a route that I get access to water. That better planning is going to prevent or improve my performance moving forward.
Yeah. How did you feel when I gave you that orange out there?
You were a lifesaver, honey.
The fruit is a great snack to take with you on long, hot rides. It's cold, it's wet, and contains lots of electrolytes and some carbs.
See you next time on Life with a Fast Wife. Please remember to like and subscribe right down here in the video.
Cat butt.
Do you really need to be part of this, Bella?